Hey guys, this is Gerald, and today I'm going to be telling you some of the most important advice that you must hear, that you need to hear about badminton strategy. So roll that intro. Wait, what? There's no fancy, cool badminton trick shot kind of intro because we are in lockdown? Well, that can be helped. But first of all, before we begin, I'd like to say that there's a clear distinction between strategy and tactics, but often people kind of confuse and interchange these two words, and for the sake of this video I will actually be using them interchangeably because it does not really make a difference in understanding, but just get that there's actually a difference between badminton strategy and badminton tactics. Alright, people have been constantly commenting and requesting for strategy videos. They've been asking, Gerald, make a strategy video. During the lockdown we can't do anything, but we would like to hear more strategy videos from you. And indeed, many YouTubers have made such tactical advice strategy kind of videos, but that being said, just purely watching tactical videos or strategy videos comes with several big problems. Number one, tactics are always changing. For example, if you know that my backhand is weak, right? You keep attacking my backhand. What do you think is gonna happen? I'm going to realize, hey, you keep attacking my backhand. I'm going to guard my backhand. I'm going to stand closer to this side. I'm not going to lift, so you can't attack my backhand. I'm going to hit here instead. So if you want to hit to my backhand, you know, it's much harder, much longer distance. So here's what's going to happen. Strategy needs to change. Otherwise, if you keep attacking, it's not going to become effective. Not to mention, the second thing is that I may present with you thousands of badminton tactics or strategies, but you may not have the skills to actually apply these tactics. What I mean by that, say for example, you know, I give you a simple advice, like a person likes to smash and then charge to the front. Why? Because he's a hard smasher. Smash really hard and then he charges to the front. So he charges to here, and what can you do? Rightfully, you can cross over here. So he charges here, he kind of, you know, leaves out here. But what's even better is that if he charges here, you lift the shuttle here, kind of do like a defensive clear to the baseline, kind of like how Kevin Sanjaya does it. Can you do it? Really difficult if your opponent can do a very hard smash from the forehand side. So that's the second implication. And when you actually try to implement these tactics, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be like, dang it doesn't work. My friend can counter. The strategy is useless. But that's not necessarily the case. It could be because it was not executed well. Or your friend is kind of immune to this particular tactic or strategy. Be able to tell the difference. So then some of you might be asking at this point in time, wow, that's a lot to take in. Wouldn't that means that I shouldn't watch strategy videos online, or I should not make strategy videos? That's not the case. Well, here's how I propose we could properly approach badminton strategy online. You need to understand that all of these things that we do, or the videos that are out there, is to help you think for yourself, because ultimately you need to learn how to think for yourself and see what's appropriate for your scenario. All the videos that online YouTubers or coaches have created can only provide you with the tools to help you think for yourself, but we can't think for you, or the online kind of videos and coaches, we can't think for you. So you gotta be very clear what is the best tactic and strategy for your situation. Then now let's look at what exactly is a strategy. Well, I like to think of strategy as kind of like a problem solving kind of thing to serve two objectives, right? Two. The first is that we need to be able to know how to score points. So the strategy must work towards to helping you score points from the opponent. And the second part, which is what is most often missed out whenever we talk about strategy or tactics, is how do you protect or prevent you from losing points. So not only must you learn how to score points, you must also not lose 21 points when you score 21 points, right? So you must not lose before you can win, so that you can win. And there is this very important third variable that almost nobody kind of explains or talks about when we talk about badminton strategy or tactics, and that is it must be immediate. What I mean by that, let's watch the video. So based on my analysis, I think you lack fitness and you lack power. So you really need to drill on your footwork fitness so that you can endure that long rally. Well, you can see the problem with that, because when you're actually in an intense game, right, every interval or every rally, you practically only have about 10 to 20 seconds at best to kind of think, hey, what should I do next? How do I score points? How do I not lose points? And if you reach the interval, you have 2 minutes. 2 minutes, you need to figure out what you can do to score points, not to lose points. And not only must you think, your coach will be telling you information, you need to absorb that information and then think, how do you actually implement and score or win the second half of the rally? In this video, I'm not going to go into a lot of details on very, very specific tactics. I may give some examples, but the whole purpose is to give you an overall broad framework so that you can understand and think for yourself a little bit better. And here's a simple but powerful framework that I love using. It's one of my favorite, and you've probably seen me using this video a long time ago. But that aside, this framework is all about knowing how to score and how not to lose points. And when you look at how to score, there's two important components that you look at. The first is, what are you good at? What are your strengths? And what is your opponent weak at? Like, for example, their weaknesses or the opportunity that's present for you. So when we look at how to score, there's really two key components that you need to look at. The first is, what are you good at? And the second is, what is your opponent weak at? So once you see what your opponent is weak in, then that's when you realize that's where you can capitalize on the opportunity to attack. So for example, if you are you are a powerful smasher, you can smash really hard. That's when you should try to set up more, hit more to the front, so that you have a lot more opportunity to force the clear so that you can smash. Right? So if you're a powerful player, you need to try to get yourself at the back so that you can smash very often. What are some of the tactics or strategy that you should play? You should play a lot of drop shots, a lot of net shots, and if you must push to the back, try to keep it flat wherever possible so that you force the opponent to hit a high shot, and then that's when you use your weapon, your strength, to smash very often. And then at the same time, you also need to see what is your opponent weak at. If your opponent is weak, and for example, the forehand corner, right? So sometimes people are very slow in reaching out to the forehand corner compared to the backhand. Backhand is one smooth motion, forehand's a little bit slower. What do? So you combine both this opportunity. So you smash very, very, very often, and sometimes if you see your opponent's a little bit more prepared, that's when you do the drop shot to his forehand side. Yeah, by the way, this is forehand, this is backhand, if you haven't realized yet. So by doing this, you essentially improve your ability to score points. And here's an additional tip. So more often than not, sometimes we would change our own strategy or tactics mid-game. Why? Because you think that your opponent would have realized you scored 5 points smashing his backhand side. And then, why do I say this? Because it happened to me before. I would score 5-6 points over this side, and I would realize dang, my opponent must have realized my gameplay right now. It must be so obvious, right? So why not, let's change it. Let's smash this side now. And usually that backfires. Why? Because old habits die hard. Unless this starts to become ineffective, keep doing the same thing until it becomes ineffective. Then you switch it up, change his attention elsewhere, make sure this is open again, and then attack the same thing. So don't overcomplicate things like I used to. So here's a pro tip, by the way: don't overcomplicate things and change the strategy before your opponent adapts, because that's one way to lose a lot of points without even knowing why you lost a lot of points. So that took me a while to kind of realize, dang, I shouldn't have changed my strategy, because when I watch my videos, I realized my opponent's backhand was still open. So that's a pro tip for you right there. And now let's move over to the other side of the equation: how not to lose points, right? So there are two key factors that you need to look at. The first is, what is your opponent good at? And the second key factor is, what are you weak at? So if, for example, you are here, right? you are weak in the backhand corner, the backhand defense corner, what do? You try to avoid hitting to this forehand side corner, because that gives the opponent a straight line of attack to your backhand or to your weak spot, right? So if you're slow towards this corner, let's say the front, the forehand drop shot, what do? One, you can hit a lot of net shots, and then so that you can stand a little bit more front and not be worried of the drop shot, or hit over to this side so that when the opponent hits here, it's a longer distance, you have a little bit more time to react. So that being said, that allows you to kind of protect yourself and make it a little bit harder for your opponent to score points. So how do you actually use this framework very effectively? So you need to start counting and thinking, hey, where did I lose my points? Hey, where did I win points? So let's say, for example, every 4 or 5 points, you kind of need to try to remember, hey, I scored 3 points smashing this corner, I score 3 points hitting this corner, and the rest was his simple mistakes. And therefore the viable strategy is to attack here and attack here. And on the other hand, where did I lose points? I lost about 5 points over here, and I lost about 5 points over here. So I need to guard this side by not hitting here, and I need to try to make sure I'm always prepared for this shot, this forehand cross shot. So don't hit here, guard here. So that's one simple way that you can do to apply and really create that framework. So I want you to kind of learn how to internalize this framework so that you can use it effectively in your own game. So I kind of made this very broad so that it's more like a strategy video rather than a specific tactics kind of video. I have a lot more tactics in my mind, and if you'd like to see more, I'm actually planning to make a short, I don't know if it's a short course, it may end up being quite a long course, but basically this course is all about badminton strategies and tactics, and I'll be covering some of the topics such as basic badminton principles and why they actually work or are timeless, and secondly is evergreen tactics that any beginner and intermediate players can use, because there are several limitations when you just start badminton. And last but not least, for those of you that are a little bit more experienced, more competitive in nature, I'm going to be sharing some of my competition mental strategies and tactics. So these are from my decades of competitive experience. So those tactics have helped me create an edge over my opponent to beat players that I know I should not have won during competition, and how I actually handled those crucial moments, those team events, let's say 5-on-5, and you are the deciding point and it's the last set, 20 all, high pressure game. How do you manage the kind of anxiety? The Olympics, once in every 4 years, you're going to be trembling. How do you manage those kind of anxiety, those strategies, those tactics, those mental gameplays? I'm going to be covering all of that in my strategy course. Here's the thing, I'm looking for a small group of people to be like my test group, my beta test group, because I need to kind of refine and make all this content relevant to you, because what my gameplay and experiences are like could be quite different from you, because I come from quite like a professional background from the Singapore Sports School national team, so it might be quite different from you. So I want to have this test group to kind of make it relevant to you guys, to improve on the course. In return, I'm going to give you guys a discounted price. So I'm thinking of charging like a one-off fee, so it's not going to be like recurring fee or anything like that, and it's going to be a work in progress. Basically that means that you get to see all the subsequent updates at no additional charge, free. So if you really want to bring up the level of the way you think, your strategy, your mental gameplay in badminton, I highly encourage you to sign up for it. So in order for you to start, just leave a comment below or shoot me an email at gerald@bgbadminton.com and I'll get in touch with you. So with that said, I hope this video is helpful. Let me know what you guys think. Also leave them in the comment section below. Be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.